The first ever two-night SummerSlam is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I've got my predictions down. I know you've got yours, so come on in and let's talk about them. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Seth Grimes back here with some more predictions. This time breaking down the two nights of SummerSlam in New Jersey. Stacked card. It looks like some great matches on here. Some not so great, but we'll get into that. And it looks like they're going to give these matches a little room to breathe. Though the card is stacked as it's spread out over 2 days, doesn't look like anything's overbooked, so I'm excited to see that as well. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and just hop on into these predictions. But before we do, if I could bug you to hit that subscribe button down below, it helps a brother out, helps support the show more than you know. While you're there, leave a comment and tell me what you think I got wrong and what you think is going down at SummerSlam this weekend. Now let's go ahead and hop on into the predictions. First one we'll talk about is the WWE Tag Team Title 6-pack TLC match. 6 teams going at it. Looks like they just sort of tacked this on at the last minute. It's going to be the Wyatt 6 defending the tag team titles against the Street Profits, the Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, Fraxium, and Andrade and Rey Fenix. It's a weird, strange combination there. I don't care. None of these teams excite me. I gotta tell you, man, I love tag team wrestling. I just am not excited about any of the tag teams that are currently in WWE. They don't really wet my whistle for tag team action. I know a lot of people love them, some Motor City Machine Guns. People love DIY. I don't know who, but there's people out there that they have an audience for. The Street Profits. Wyatt 6 have fans. I don't care about any of these people in this match. But if I had to pick, I don't know that they're going to be taking the titles off the Wyatt 6 so soon. Because if they do, what the fuck are they going to do with the Wyatt 6? They haven't had any good plans for them in such a long time. So if you take the titles off of them, they're just going to be naked. And they're going to be bored with nothing to do. So I'm going to predict that the Wyatt 6 retain the tag team titles, and I just hope that we see some cool spots. You throw 12 guys in a match that I don't care about, but you got ladders, tables, and chairs. Just give me a good old-fashioned spot fest. That's what I want to see. I want to see it from these guys. I hope that's what we get. Sami Zayn going one-on-one with Karrion Kross. Finally glad to see that Karrion Kross is getting a little bit of a push, getting the exposure. I've been one of those guys that have been saying that Karrion Kross is criminally underrated. He's got the ability to talk. He's got a great look. He can work in the ring when he takes flat back bumps. But the guy has been overlooked and underused on the roster, and they've been trying to shoehorn him in to these backstage segments, and then that got him involved with Sami Zayn. And they've been trying to tell a little bit of a story of Karrion Kross being the devil on Sami's shoulders, and maybe Sami's going to turn heel and join with Paul Heyman's faction. I think this is a great time to give Karrion Kross a win here. He needs a solid win. Sami Zayn can withstand wins. He does not need to be, he's the ultimate underdog. He can build his way back up from a loss. Karrion Kross cannot afford any losses at this point. He needs to win, and he needs to win looking good. And that can hopefully propel him into something new where he doesn't have to just have another rematch with Sami and be jobbed out there. As much as I love Sami and as much as he's a babyface and we want to see the happy ending and everything, you got to give Karrion Kross a win here or he's dead in the water. Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time, taking on Jade Cargill. That was embarrassing, wasn't it? I apologize for that. I am so sorry. This match is going to be bowling shoe ugly, as Jim Ross likes to say. Neither one of them are particularly great workers. I would say Tiffany's the better worker than Jade, obviously, but not by much. She hasn't been around all that long to really have that veteran touch where she can just carry people like Jade Cargill through matches. I love Jade Cargill. I was one of her biggest fans from a very early time in AEW, where most people were still shitting on her and saying, who's this chick and why is she doing that? I'm that bitch, and slapping people in the face and stuff, because she is that bitch. That's why. Big time fan of Jade Cargill almost from the very beginning. But I gotta admit, man, she has not progressed in ring. She's looked good in some scenarios. That beatdown that she gave to Naomi in the Elimination Chamber, I thought was epic and very memorable, and I thought they had a very good match at the last PLE, whatever the fuck that was. Or was that Saturday? When did they work last? Was that a Saturday night's main event? I don't even know. It was Evolution. Jesus Christ, there's been so many shows lately. Jade and Naomi, I thought, kicked ass, but I thought that was mostly Naomi, and Jade's still green. She's got a ways to go. So I don't predict that this is going to be a good match, but hopefully they tell a decent story at the very least and make it worth watching. I have to go with Tiffany Stratton here. I would have called maybe some kind of shenanigan or cash in or something, but they opted to do that with Naomi at Evolution and give her the belt there. I thought it would have been probably a layup to give Jade Cargill the belt and then have Naomi cash in on her, but they flipped the script on us, and now we got Tiffy versus Jade, and I can't imagine that Jade Cargill, as awesome as she is and how much potential she is, I don't see her uncrowning Tiffany Stratton. I think Tiffany might go all the way to WrestleMania at this point, and maybe she should. She's over, and I don't know that there's a real strong contender at this time to unseat her and take that belt forward. So I'm going with Tiffy. Roman Reigns and Yeet Boy Jey Uso take on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, the Braun Twins, the Braun Monsters, the henchmen of Seth Rollins. Hey, look, they had a good showing on Monday Night Raw. You know, they looked pretty tough there and got the good old beat down on Roman and Jay. But I think for reasons I'll get into in just a few matches here, I believe that Roman Reigns and Jey Uso are going to win this match. Mostly because Jay, you don't want to just start jobbing out Jay now that he's lost the title. I think that's going to really hurt his credibility as a top tier star. So I don't think you want to go there quite yet. And Roman just returned, so I don't think you want to give him an L right away on his return match either. So as great as Braun and Bronson looked on Monday Night Raw with their beatdown and stealing the shoes and all of that, I got to think that Braun and Bronson are going to take the L on this one. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez of the Judgment Day defend the Women's Tag Team Championships against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. And I gotta tell you, this is actually one of my most anticipated matches. I have said this before, I am a massive fan of what Raquel Rodriguez has been doing as of late. I think she's just stepped up in a very big way since Liv got hurt. And now she's got the support from Roxanne, who's also doing some great work. Roxanne impressed the fuck out of me all the way back in NXT. I was like, okay, this girl's got it. She's ready for the main roster, and it wasn't much longer after I had that thought that she was on the main roster. So, they were using her in last year's Royal Rumble. She was the second to last to get thrown out, or the last to get thrown out, second to last in the ring. So, Roxanne's been doing great, and she's been filling the role and holding the spot for Liv well. But Raquel, I think, has really just impressed me. She's lost weight. She's improved in the ring. She has stepped up her presence and her star power. And even when Kevin Nash made news kind of burying her, saying, oh, she works small and blah, 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 kind of bitching her out, her comment was, instead of saying, yeah, well, fuck you, old man, it was, which might have been my response, it was, well, if Kevin Nash says I'm working too small, then I'm working too small and I need to do better. And she has done a lot better she works bigger, stronger, she works like she's the monster in the ring a lot of times. So I'm just happy as all fuck with this team. That said, I think now's the time that they lose. I would have thought that they should probably hold the tag titles till Liv gets back and work out some sort of angle there where Liv, squeezes back in and takes her title back and kind of pushes Roxanne to the side, and maybe something happens there. But I got to tell you, man, this Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair thing that they've been doing on TV, it's gold. It's pure gold. They stumbled onto something really, really good with Alexa and Charlotte. And I think because of that, I don't know if they were building to any kind of breakup or a feud between them or something, but they stumbled across some great chemistry, and I think they need to run with it for a little bit. I think now is the time to pull the trigger on them as a team and really triple down on them and give them the tag titles and extend that run of the odd couple pairing of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. We're not friends, that's great, but we can be tag team champions together, can't we? Randy Orton is teaming up with Jelly Roll, to the chagrin of many WWE fan base. They just hate when the celebrities get involved. Why is he getting the push when my guy's not getting the push? Shut the fuck up. So Randy Orton and Jelly Roll, who is a mega star and a household name, will be taking on the team of Drew McIntyre and another megastar and a household name, Logan Paul. That is, if Drew McIntyre is able to find his way over to the country. Last we heard, he's stranded over in the UK, and that sucks for him because I imagine they put a lot of work into this match and choreographed the shit out of it because Jelly Roll's not a wrestler. I don't think you can just shoehorn some new guy into there at the last minute. So, if Vince McMahon was around, he would have thrown quite a few dollar bills around to get Drew back into the United States. If they had to pay somebody to smuggle him, he would be here. So I'm going to assume that Drew will be here. And look, you got to give Jelly Roll the win. You just have to. This is one of those setups that is just built in for the feel-good moment. And for the press, the press is not going to cover it the same if Jelly Roll takes the L that they will if Jelly Roll is standing there with his hand raised with Randy Orton. I think, Logan Paul should probably eat the pin on this just because he can recover from it because he's a smarmy douchebag heel. Drew gets to keep his credibility and maybe separate from Logan and say Logan held him down or whatever, and he can move on to other things. And Jelly Roll gets the headlines for WWE that this whole match was built to do. Get them the headlines. That's what's going to happen. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. Gunther versus CM Punk for the world title. I'm torn on this because longtime listeners will know that CM Punk, our Lord and Savior, CM Jesus Christ Punk, is my favorite wrestler of all time. And of course, with that, I want him to obviously win every match and be all the world champions all at the same time, like Mercedes Moné, and just hold all the belts. But we don't live in that world. That's just not a reality. And I don't think CM Punk actually needs a world title at all. There's no need to put the world title on him. Punk needs to win a world title, I think, at some point, but he doesn't need to be the world heavyweight champion. On the other hand now, Gunther, I think, is best played when he just doesn't lose. He is the crusher of dreams. He's the guy that just comes in and wins because he's Gunther, and you're not going to beat Gunther because he's a goddamn beast and a savage. And he crushes your dreams of winning world titles or being the world champion. He crushed the dreams of the fans of Jey Uso You know, he crushed Goldberg's retirement in his hands. Now he's going to crush the dreams of CM Punk. I think that's would be the way to go if this was a nice, clean match. But I'm going to call shenanigans on this one, and I've been saying this right from the beginning, and I've been called, oh, what a stretch. You're really pulling that one out of your ass. Seth Rollins is working all of you. It's a work. This whole injury thing's a giant work, folks. He's working you. He's not hurt. He's going to come in with that Money in the Bank briefcase. He's going to cash it in on this match on this night. And your winner, the guy who walks out of the ring with the world title at the end of the night, is going to be Seth Rollins with the shocking return, the shocking cash in. Surprise, bitches, I'm not hurt at all. The real question is, does he cash in while the match is going on and turn it into a three-way match, a triple threat? Maybe, you know, Punk hits the GTS, but he's too tired to get the cover, and then Rollins comes in and snatches it from him. Or do we get the CM Punk title change, where CM Punk gets the visual of winning the world title? I know we just did this not that long ago at WrestleMania with Drew McIntyre. But wouldn't it be great if CM Punk got the visual of winning the world title? There he is. And that's, you know, the record books will forevermore say that CM Punk is another time world champion, whatever he's at right now. Add another one to his illustrious career. He won one in AEW. Now he has returned to WWE, main evented WrestleMania, and won himself a chance to win the world title here tonight. Or at, you know, SummerSlam when that happens. I hate to do this at the expense of Gunther. I wish it was any other person. But I think if I was booking, I would give CM Punk a visual title win and then immediately have it ruined by that bastard Seth Rollins with the cash in. That's what I think is going to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if Punk doesn't get the win, because we just don't want to see Gunther lose clean either. You know, we don't want to see that. We want Gunther to just beat everybody and keep him strong and dangerous and a credible threat. And I think if he loses first before Rollins cashes in, it does take away some of that threat. Whereas, you know, if Rollins just came in to spoil the party and actually pin Punk, Gunther could come out of this with quite the gripe and still not look like a loser, which might be the direction they go to protect him. But I guess if I was booking it, I'd give CM Punk the win at the expense of Gunther and just make sure that we get Gunther heated right back up after. But Rollins, either way, however they slice it, coming out of this with the world title, that is how night one ends. SummerSlam Night 2. We got Becky Lynch defending the Intercontinental Championship against Lyra Valkyria. And I gotta tell you, I am sick of this fucking feud. These guys have been going at it basically since what? The end of WrestleMania, where Becky Lynch was the surprise tag team partner, and then the next night they lost the titles again and Becky turned on Lyra. And we've just been doing this goddamn dance for months and months now. I think sometimes WWE falls into a trap of getting, especially under the Triple H era, getting very good storylines going and not knowing how to actually ever get out of them. So they just keep going forever in one way or another. For Becky Lynch and Lyra, I'm sick of this. I'm over it. I don't want to see these guys face each other anymore. I think this is the opportunity to give Lyra the win and give her the title back. And I think all of this was to do just to build Lyra up and give her wins over credible veterans, give her a good story with a credible veteran, and have her come out on top and build her as one of the next top stars. You know, one thing that has impressed, I'm not completely sold on Lyra yet. I don't think her promo is all the way there, and I don't really get excited to see her matches. But she never, ever disappoints me. So I don't know why I'm not excited to see her matches at this point, because her matches are always really, really good. And I think she has done a lot to help build herself up as a credible name right there with Becky Lynch and Bayley. So for that reason, I think she's going over on Becky and hopefully moving the fuck on after this. The men's Intercontinental Championship match. Dirty Dominic Mysterio defending the title against AJ Styles. I have loved the build for this. I thought this was a really smart build. I love the way that AJ was always just in the background, or he's the parking attendant, or he's mopping the fucking floors or something. Like, I just love that AJ's just watching and waiting for Dom's medical clearance so that he can attack and that he can get that title shot. It's just been a great build. It's funny. It's been fun. It's a memorable little angle that they're doing there. I'm a big Dirty Dom guy. I'm not mad if he just wins and keeps running as the Intercontinental Champion and just maintains the status quo of what he's doing. I love everything Dominic's doing. He's my guy. But it kind of seems like they might be leaning towards AJ getting that title off of Dominic. And maybe Dominic's going to do some work in AAA. They've been kind of teasing that. The Mega Championship down there. He's been eyeing that. So maybe they switch gears altogether and just move Dominic onto something different from being the Intercontinental Champion and give it to AJ Styles and let AJ... Because Dominic in real life is a workhorse, but on TV he's been just kind of a Weasley heel. So I think giving it to a guy that can have workhorse matches again was probably preferable. And I do think they are going to go that way. I think AJ beats Dominic, but fuck, man. If Dominic keeps the belt, sneaks one out on AJ, and maintains that title, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Naomi defends the women's championship against Io Sky and Rhea Bloody Ripley. And, Rhea and Io have been having some excellent matches lately. That one at Evolution was just a killer match. And Naomi, I think, has been doing the best work of her entire career right now as a heel. And just she's in that zone right now. She's in the pocket where her promos are fun. She's talking trash. She just feels more natural as a heel. And certainly more likable, I would say, as a heel than she was as a babyface. As a babyface, she's just meh. But I'm not rooting for her. As a heel, I'm kind of team Naomi here. Io's hard to hate, though. She's adorable as hell. And I think Rhea Ripley, God, she's everybody's favorite. To me, she's a little overrated. Probably just because she's everybody's favorite. I don't think she sucks. I'm not criticizing her in any way. I just think people just, the way the internet just lusts after her and just think she's the greatest thing ever since sliced bread. And I just don't know about all that. Let's give Naomi a win here and let her run with that title a little bit. Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu inside the steel cage. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide from Jacob. I think we're going to see shenanigans still. Like, since when has a steel cage ever kept anybody out? And it's no rules. So I think we get to see Solo's family tree get involved here. All the Tongan kids, they're going to get involved. Tamatonga, Talatonga, Tongaloa, they're all going to get involved some way, shape, or form. But will Jacob still come out on top? Yes, absolutely. This is the night where Jacob gets the title back and they just continue with the old push ski for Jacob Fatu, because I don't think you can have him lose to Solo twice without hurting him. Now, granted, they were able to cover it and do it with shenanigans where it didn't feel like Jacob took an L, and they could certainly do that again. And I think Solo could use the United States title to help build him up, to give him heat, to give his family tree a purpose. Because remember, one of the problems was when he was first trying to take over the bloodline from Roman, well, Solo wasn't really winning any matches or anything. So he wasn't really a leader that you could look up to or anything. And that's why people were kind of calling that Jacob Fatu was going to turn on him at some point. because why are you going to blindly follow this guy that just keeps losing matches and sucking? So for him to maintain control of his family tree, it would be nice if he was the champion still. But I don't know, unless there's just such heavy shenanigans that it keeps Jacob Fatu looking strong, that you can make Jacob Fatu lose this match. But even then, you still got to go to another rematch, because as long as Jacob doesn't lose clean and decisively to Solo, he's got a picadillo that he can pick about the United States Championship. So I think he gets the win here. John Cena defends the WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes in the big rematch from WrestleMania, and I think this is where John Cena drops the WWE title. This is the end of the line for John Cena as number 17, and I think this basically because there's just not many dates left on his contract, right? If he's going to be at WWE from now till the end of the year, they're really going to have to stretch out those dates. So I imagine the best thing to do is to take him off of TV for a couple months. And by doing that, it's going to be to lose the title to Cody. And then he can take time off and not come back till around SummerSlam or Survivor Series, perhaps. Maybe he's a mystery man on somebody's War Games team, or he comes back to get a revenge for something that happens here at SummerSlam, perhaps. Because I am not only predicting that Cody Rhodes wins, but I am predicting that Cody turns heel and sells his soul to The Rock. Now, I know I'm pulling this completely out of my ass. There's been no indication that The Rock is on his way back, and in fact, indication to the contrary, right? Also, there are little clues. There was the Cody Rhodes tweet, the don't flinch. I thank you guys for being along for the ride, but don't flinch. I'm excited for what we do next. What is that? Don't flinch at what? What's going to happen, Cody? Plus, he was wearing the watch that The Rock gave him, and he had the similar glasses to The Rock. These could all just be teases. Cody's been known to troll people and stuff like that. So it could all just be a troll job. But what if Cody Rhodes is ready to sell his soul to The Rock? He's had half a year without being the champion, without being the top guy. He's had half a year to think about it. Maybe The Rock was right. Maybe I should sell my soul to The Rock. And I think that's what we see, despite having little to no evidence that that's where we're going. Cody turns heel, sells his soul to The Rock, wins the WWE Championship. John Cena sits it out for a little bit, doesn't come back for a couple months, and then can finish out the end of the year. But that's just where I'm leaning with things. Those are my predictions. Those are just my thoughts and feelings. Love to know your predictions. Let me know down in those comments below. I will try. I don't know for sure, but I am going to try to do a SummerSlam review immediately after SummerSlam. Both nights if I can. I'm thinking about going live. It depends. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. If I don't, I'll do a post-produced video that will at least do, a review or reaction to the event as a whole. But as of right now, it is in the plans to go live if I can after each night and talk about each show separately. Till then, peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes, and we will catch you in the next video.